our Black History Experience, sponsored by the Lawrence High School Arts and Humanities Academy. See it, feel it, eat it, taste it.
For our first performance tonight, please join me in welcoming the Garvin School.
Give it up for Garvin.
1, 2, 3. Please give it up for Egun Omode dancers and drummers. Come on out. Come on out, please. Again, we are Egun Omode, which is Children of the Ancestors. We are a West African dance and drum group from Trenton, New Jersey. We hope that you all will come out on March 13th and 14th. We are doing a West African dance and drum production at the Mill Hill Playhouse in Trenton. You can find more information about us at thegarveyschool.org, or you can go to passagetheater.org. We have a Friday night show, 6 p.m. We have a Saturday show, matinee, at 12 p.m. on the 14th, and we have a 6 p.m. show on the 14th. This is our second run. The play is called Look for Me in the Whirlwind, written by my wife, and we're going to Richmond, Virginia on Friday to perform the production. So we're going on the road, and we're going to come back to Trenton, and we hope to see you all. Egun Omode. Thank you.
Give it up for them one more time. Can we clap for them one more time? I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that? Did you guys enjoy that? That was like a Coming to America moment. Like the Coming to America scene when they was all dancing and they departed and the Queen came. That was nice, right? Yep, that's just what that was like. Okay, so we're going to keep this show moving along, and we're now going to have Ryan introduce our speaker.
So please join me in welcoming the Lawrence Township Education Association President, Miss Michelle D'Angelo.
Hi, my name is Michelle D'Angelo, and I'm president of the Lawrence Township Education Association. I'm proud to welcome you to Black History Celebration, the Black Experience. See it, hear it, taste it, feel it. This celebration features many talented and accomplished African Americans. This celebration was conceived and generated by Lawrence Township faculty member Jametta Holloway, and the idea to pursue funding from NJEA through their Pride Grant program was conceptualized by Tanya Brown, also a Lawrence Township Public School faculty member. I am proud to say that our students are multiculturally engaged tonight, and I am happy to be able to support this evening as LTEA president. As I reflect upon African American history, as a professor at Rider University for 26 years and as a member of the Multicultural Studies program there, I see it as a quest for humanity. It is what every human being wants, to be loved and valued for who they are and the contribution they can make. Those of us here at Lawrence Township Public Schools endeavor every day to value and make connections with our students, our community, and with each other. Tonight, we have been wowed, and we will be continued to be wowed by performers from our school and from far and wide. We have seen dance, we'll hear voices, music, we've tasted food, and we will hear inspirational poetry and speeches, meet impressive leaders, those who have worked with our children within and outside of our community, and to whom we look for leadership and respect. This evening is a testament to what one person can do when she perseveres and invites others to contribute and to carry some of the load. I salute you, Jametta Holloway, your colleagues, and most importantly, our students. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of the LTEA and Lawrence Township Public Schools, thank you.
We are now going Black History Through Poetry by Chi Wachku, Gina Del Tego, and Shawani Rangaswamy.
The afro. Mama told me my hair was beautiful. She said it was thick and strong. I always would cry as she braided it. I would scream for her to leave me alone. One day I screamed oh so loud. She finally heard and let the hair go. I smiled triumphantly, impressed with my new afro, eager to show all the cool girls at school. I woke up the next day, ecstatic to brag. I said to Ma, they'll love it for sure. She sighed and silently walked me out the door. I walked into class and sat at my seat. They laughed, they joked, they bullied me. I came home and quickly cried myself to sleep. And when I woke, I found my fro tied in 10 neatly braided twists.
Ronnie Has Fallen, for Shirley Chambers, on January 26, 2015. Today I lost my child. His name was Ronnie. Of the 4 children I brought into this world, he was the last one left standing, and today, Ronnie has fallen. You see, as the statistics of gun violence within the Black community continues to rise, our children will only continue to fall. First it was Carlos, then LaToya, then Jerome, and then Ronnie. Like dominoes, they fell one after the other, leaving my little baby Ronnie without a sister or a brother, leaving me like a barren mother, because I buried all of my children 6 feet under, because gunshots struck them like lightning, and the bullets sounded like thunder. You won't believe what these eyes of mine have seen. Like pouring rain, they have cried. Because it's not fair that after I raised my 4 children, every single one of them has died. And now I'm all out of tears. Because if a mother's greatest worry is to lose her child, then I'm all out of fears. You can't take anything else from me. You have taken it all. And if we do not put an end to gun violence, then our children will just continue to fall. They gave me the greatest joy. They made my life so sweet. But their deaths have ruined its taste, because I was once so whole and complete, but now I'm numb and always in haste. But you know what they say. When you lose somebody you love, your old memories will replay. And every once in a while, when I'm fast asleep, I see a familiar face. And my hope is restored for a brighter future, where gunshots are substituted with grace.
We shall overcome the past. We shall overcome the struggles we once faced, the hardships of making a penny, the brackish tears we once shed, that we tried to make disappear as loved ones passed away. We shall overcome the pains of slavery, the weakness we shared of fighting back, the fear of bloody conflicts in the stifling air, the constant worrying of morbid death that overtook our shivering bodies. We shall overcome our overworked hands that spent days, months, years functioning, not for itself, but for others, others who felt they were superior because of color. We shall overcome the rioting that once took place and thank Dr. King for his passion to say, "I have a dream," which lifted our spirits to only one goal we dreamt of, that is freedom. We shall overcome the difficult times and enjoy the present. With friends, families, and neighbors, we shall savor the wonderful foods of our culture, appreciate the scent of various spices that have been passed on by many generations. And finally, we shall overcome the problems in the past and behold a new future, acknowledge our leaders who sacrificed their lives for ours. In other words, we shall be happy.
For our next performance, we have the Lawrence High School Gospel Choir singing "'Tis the Old Ship of Zion."
That was beautiful. Can we give it up one more time for the gospel choir? That was very nice. Took us to church. Okay. We will now have a selection from the Public Speaking 1 class, Our Lives Matter, featuring Jermaine Moore. Let's hear it.
Good evening. We will be reciting Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room.
Just like suns and like moons with the certainty of tides.
Just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head, and lowered eyes?
Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries.
Does my sassiness offend you? Don't take it so hard.
Just 'cause I laugh as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard.
You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies.
You can kill me with your hate. Just like life, I'll rise.
Does my sexiness offend you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Out of the huts of history, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise.
A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide.
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise.
Into a daybreak, miraculously clear, I rise.
Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so naturally, there I go rising.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the segment of our program in which we honor some very special guests. Tonight, we are presenting 4 Trailblazer Awards. The 4 very deserving honorees. If you remember last year, if you were here last year, you remember that I gave this brilliant speech about what a trailblazer was. So you were not here last year, because if you were here, you remember that that speech was not a brilliant speech. As a matter of fact, I think I left my cards at home, or maybe they were in the back somewhere. So the only thing that came in my head was, a trailblazer is someone who blazes the trail. So tonight, I am prepared. I was smart enough to bring along someone to help me. Joelle Green is going to tell you what a trailblazer is. Joelle.
Allow me the autonomy of innovative spirit. Don't undermine potential, my purpose, don't inhibit. Don't hinder my endeavors, not interrupt progression. Be mindful of my right to meaningful expression. Don't try to nail my wings unjustly to the floor. Don't stifle my ambition, I earnestly implore. Through fiery determination, I'll pursue my intuition. With acute awareness, I'll inspire new tradition. Through the odds be great, against what I believe. Through blazing perseverance, the impossible I'll achieve.
Please give Joelle another round of applause. Coaches are special. Special individuals, they spend countless hours preparing their athletes to excel. Our first honoree tonight has done just that on an amazing level. He's won countless coaching awards for his success, and tonight we would like to bestow our first 2015 Trailblazer Award upon him. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Thomas Harrington to the stage.
Since I can't see you, I don't know who I paid to clap for me. That's definitely my sister-in-law. It's been over 20 years since I've been inside these hallowed walls. And almost 30 since I first started coaching here at Lawrence High School. I think back briefly to your first love, how you put everything into it. Lawrence High School, you were my first love. You allowed me to begin this wonderful trek that God has taken me from place to place. The program talks about the various things that I've been able to do, but I haven't done any of those without God's guidance, God's direction, and God's empowering. We have been so blessed throughout these many, many years of what I've been doing, whether on a high school level with the 12-plus championships we had here or the 20-plus we had in Princeton, plus at the university level, another 10 or some odd. But in all those things, my passion has always been based on my life motto. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. And I've come up with a really short acronym for the word help. H is holding them to a higher standard than what the world does. I've made my athletes and myself rise to the standard I believe God wanted us to be at. Some of them did not voluntarily go, but we got there. Then 2, encourage them, because as athletes and as students, there are times that they are down. Constantly encourage them. Let them know that you have their back, even when no one else does. And then love them. Love them with the love that God has placed within you and share it to them. And finally, pray for them. Pray that God will guide them through every single thing that goes on in their lives. And if I can help as I pass along, then God will provide the success. So the race is not given to the swift, neither the battle to the strong, but to them that endure to the end. Thank you very, very much, Sister Jametta. Thank you, Lawrence High School, and thank you very much.
As a history teacher, my passion for the field in which I teach is renewed daily as I share that passion and knowledge with my students. Just over a week ago, I met someone who is living history. My emotions were everywhere after meeting her. Happy, very emotional, kind of overwhelming because I talk about a lot of the history that she has lived through and actually experienced. And that was amazing to me, to be blessed to have that opportunity to meet her. She is a remarkable woman with such rich history. It is my honor and my pleasure to present the 2015 Trailblazer Award to Miss Edith Savage Jennings. Congratulations.
Again, it is my pleasure to present an award to Sean Spiller. Sean Spiller was a high school science teacher in Wayne, New Jersey. He was a local president for 6 years in Wayne. Currently, Sean is serving as Secretary-Treasurer of the NJEA and has served as the chair of the Congressional Contact Committee and as a member of the Urban Education Committee. Sean has the pulse of NJEA membership as well as the constituents. He serves in Montclair as a member of the Town Council. Sean is a member of the Montclair NAACP and the League of Women Voters. Sean is married to a public school teacher, and he is invested in helping members become involved and face the challenges deeply felt by the middle class in New Jersey. Sean, thank you for your public service, and thank you for being the face of what is possible for those of us in public education in New Jersey. Please come on. Sean has left a meeting of the Delegate Assembly. So I'm losing my microphone. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I am so honored to be receiving this award. I so much appreciate it. And I think, as would be said by all the honorees, first, you really can't see anybody. That's one thing that everyone would say. But I'd also say that, we stand here as honorees, as trailblazers, not because of just what we've done, but because of the support we've received from so many along the way. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my family for everything they've given me and the role that they played in me getting to where I am today. As the son of a Jamaican mother and a father from New Zealand, I was receiving support before I even knew what it meant or how valuable it would be growing up. Certainly, everyone on my mother's side, everyone on my father's side, treated my parents just as they would any other family member. And that's all I grew up with. And as I got a little older and learned about some of the challenges for my parents that maybe I'd faced along the way, and I know that all of us certainly have faced along the way, it's that support that I received early on, that encouragement that I received early on, that knowing from watching all my loved ones, my family, my friends, knowing that what I saw was right, and that while I may come across wrongs along the way, I would overcome. And I relied on that strength to do so. So I'm so proud to be receiving this award because I know that so many have made so many struggles. I'm really proud to be receiving this award because while there always has to be that trailblazer standing at the front of a speech or at the head of a march or being the one sitting in the front of the bus or the first one on the ball field, they are only there because of the support that they received along the way. They are only there because they had so many standing with them. So I think that I accept this award proudly, but also knowing that it's time for me, for all of us, to give back in any way we can, to be that support for the next generation, to be that support for the next person, so they can be all that they want to be, so they can accomplish their goals in life. And I'm confident that that's truly what a trailblazer is, someone who helps others achieve their goals once they've accomplished many of theirs. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this honor.
Last but not least, we have our final honoree. We'd like to welcome Marianne and Madison Ubry to the stage, please.
Good evening, everyone. Webster's definition of a trailblazer is a leader in one's field, a pioneer. Tonight, we are here to honor Gwendolyn Joyce Tyler for her role as a trailblazer, a leader. Joyce received her bachelor's degree and followed by a master's degree. Quite a feat, especially in the early 1970s when women weren't encouraged to go to college for a four-year degree, not alone a master's degree. Not Joyce. She had a loving, supportive, a trailblazer mother who too was told she didn't need to go to college. After all, she was going to marry and be a homemaker. Well, that wasn't acceptable as an answer, and neither for Joyce. After a position in Career Services Department at Rutgers University, Joyce was hired by Rider University to start a Career Services Department to assist students hone their resumes and connect with employers to hire students after they completed their degrees. I am sure Joyce interviewed with many male counterparts, but Joyce rose above and was hired as the Director of Career Services. A lot of work to do, but she was up for the challenge. She pulled together her resources, hiring staff and brainstorming on how to best bring services to the students. She put together career fairs and brought employers to campus to interview students. She worked tirelessly, providing services desperately needed by students, parents, and management. Her favorite aspect, though, was working to prepare the students for their journey ahead. When I came to Rider 4 years ago as Joyce's secretary, I observed Joyce while I was training for my new job. I immediately saw where her heart was. She lit up when the students met her and asked her for assistance. Her half-hour appointments became hour-and-a-half appointments. And boy, did Joyce beam with pride when a student came by to tell her they landed the job of their dreams. Speaking of a leader, in her field. I couldn't think of any other woman more deserving than this award, in my opinion. And I venture to say that a multitude of students, that she is a trailblazer, a leader in the truest sense of the word. Her work is important to students, and she is looked up to and well respected, not only by her students, but by her peers and management. I am honored to know Joyce and work with her and congratulate you on a well-deserved award. Thank you.
Now may everybody please join me in welcoming Joyce Tyler to the stage.
Well, it's unusual for me to be speechless, but I hadn't seen Marianne in a while, and she knows that I love her dearly. She was a godsend for me in the office at a time when we had a lot of pressure on us to do a lot of work and to make sure that our students were placed at a high level in the state of New Jersey, and she was instrumental in making sure that that office functioned efficiently. I want to thank Jametta for this honor. I always say it's important not to stress being noted for what you do. Make sure that every day that you wake up, you ask the Lord's will. What is your will for me today? And you go out knowing with your head high and your shoulders back that He's given you the strength to do what you have to do. I look at students every day who sometimes will come into the office with their heads hung down in terms of, well, I didn't get the 3.5 or the 3.0 GPA that my parents wanted me to get. And then I ask them, what types of things have you been doing over the past 4 years in school? And they'll talk to me about all of the different leadership activities they were involved in, the clubs and organizations, all of the different types of things that they have been involved in, the internships they've had. And I say to them, do you realize the skills that you've gathered through these years to make you who you are? Every one of you in this room as a student has a gift. And it's important for you to identify what that gift is early, exercise those skills and those gifts, and make sure you're willing to give back to those people who brought you through the ranks and to the future generations that will come along. It's important to be encouraged. It's also important to believe in yourself, but always be aware that the foundation for your development, the foundation for who you are, and the foundation of your gifts come from God, no one else. Thank you so much.
She has been a friend, advisor, lobbyist, and fundraiser for numerous community, civic, and service organizations. Ms. Savage Jennings worked at the Mercer County Youth Detention Center for 34 years and retired as assistant superintendent. She served as chief of protocol under the late Arthur J. Holland, then mayor of Trenton, and has served on many boards, some of which include People to People of Mercer County, the Trenton YMCA, and the Carver Center. Ms. Savage Jennings co-founded the Trenton chapter of Political Black Women, the Urban League Guild of Metropolitan Trenton, and the Urban League's Young People for Progress organizations. She was the founder of the Mercer County chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1960, where she served as president. She is a lifetime member of the NAACP and the Greater Mount Zion AME Church in Trenton, New Jersey. She began her civil rights activism at the age of 13 when she led the integration of the Capitol Theater in Trenton, New Jersey. In 1957, Ms. Savage Jennings was asked to chair a major civil rights rally at the Shiloh Baptist Church for the benefit of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, where the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was invited to speak. From then on, Reverend Dr. King and his wife worked closely together with Ms. Savage Jennings, who became a close family friend and advisor. In 1963, President Kennedy recruited Savage Jennings and Helen Maynor, wife of New Jersey Governor Robert Maynor, to go on a secret mission to Jackson, Mississippi to meet with public officials to offset rioting due to integration in first-grade classrooms. She coordinated 3 marches on Trenton as part of the Poor People's Campaign and was one of the co-organizers of the New Jersey Democratic Coalition in 1964. She also accompanied Fannie Lou Hamer to the Democratic Party convention that same year. Ms. Savage Jennings was present at the signing of the National King Holiday Bill and accompanied Rosa Parks to the White House during President Reagan's administration. She was appointed to the Federal Martin Luther King Commission by President Clinton, and in 2004, Savage Jennings was presented the Rosa Parks Congressional Medal of Honor. She has been a White House guest during the administration of Presidents Roosevelt, Truman, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, and Obama. For over 25 years, Ms. Savage Jennings was a board member of the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolence and Social Change in Atlanta. She worked very closely with the late Coretta Scott King on fundraising for the center and assisted her in establishing King commissions throughout the country. She has been instrumental in increasing the presence of women and minorities throughout local and state governments. She has been honored for her many contributions by numerous local, state, and national organizations. Throughout her social justice and civil rights activism, which continues today, Ms. Savage Jennings continues to be a counselor, mentor, minority affairs liaison, and fundraiser for governors, congressmen, and women celebrities and civil rights activists on the front lines. She has been featured in over 7 books and has appeared on local and national TV numerous times. It is my pleasure to introduce to you someone who I know very well. She is my grandmother, Mrs. Edith Johnson Savage Jennings.
I want to thank my granddaughter for introducing me. First, I want to say thank you to the Lawrenceville High School staff for inviting me this evening. First, to receive the honor. Nothing is greater than people think of you, of what you've done through the years. And I want you to know I sincerely appreciate it. First, I'd like my family to stand up. They're all sitting here on the front row, and some of them on the back row. But that is my family. And dark in the audience. I'd like to look at my audience. So I would appreciate if you turn the audience lights on so I can look at the audience. I would appreciate it. It's so much I would have liked to have said, but the time is getting late. And it's it's just too much to say what I really wanted to say. But I want to start out saying that when I was 10 years old, I was asked to present some flowers to President Roosevelt's wife, who was visiting in Bordentown, the New Jersey State Federation of Colored Women's Clubs. But I was told to say nothing, but just present the flowers. So I kept saying on the way down, my mother kept repeating it, don't say anything. So on the way down, I kept saying, well, I'm not deaf, I'm not dumb, I'm not blind, why can't I say anything? So after I presented the flowers very politely, I said, Mrs. Roosevelt, I want to thank you for being so nice to colored people. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. Because I was told not to say anything. But that's actually when I started doing what I do and what I do best. So after I presented the flowers and she gave me a kiss, and she went back home and she began to write to me to tell me how much she appreciated what I'd said to her. Invited me to the White House 3 times. That was my first visit to the White House. And the president said to me, President Roosevelt said, you know what, Edith, we want to adopt you. I said, that's not going to happen. My mother's not going to allow for that to happen. But what an experience that was as a child to visit the White House. I want to say to the teachers, number one, I commend you because you have a job. A job that really transcends. They send their children to school to you, but they expect you to be mother, father, and teacher. That's an awesome job. So the first thing I'm going to talk about to you for a few minutes is mentoring. Mentoring children is something that needs to be done in our community and across the whole country. And what is mentoring? Mentoring is just take a child, starting at age, I don't believe it's starting earlier than 9 or 10, up until that person becomes 21, and actually be what you consider yourself to be, a second parent. And that's what mentoring is all about. But also, it does something else for that person. I was mentored by Mrs. Mary G. Roblin. And those of you who are too young to know who she was the president of the bank, Trenton Trust Company, and she was a Roblin that built the Roblin Bridge, was her husband. So what I'm trying to say is so important to do this because I was really blessed to have had her for a mentor. She did all kinds of things. She first taught me how to speak on the mic. I'm still not doing very well, but I think I'm doing a little better as time go on. But mentoring is something that stays with you your entire life if the right person is doing it for you. Now I'm going to talk about teachers. Teachers can do harm on a child in kindergarten, whether they know it or not. A teacher is something, I went to school in Trenton, and I remember as a very small child that we had Ike Williams, those of you who would not know him, was a boxer, but he went to school with me. And when he came in, he was just coming from the South, very clean, but his shirt was a little raggedy. The children began to laugh at him, and the teacher said to him, you just come here for a minute. He came up to her. And what she said, I will never forget. You're here now. You're in the North. You're not in the South. And we want you to feel comfortable. I sat there in 3rd grade, and I'll never forget it. And something just kept saying to me, why is she doing this? Why is she pointing him out? We've had students before that come in, but the teacher never said anything. To me, she was doing violence on Ike Williams at that time, because he was no different from any other student in that class. These are the kind of things that always have bothered me. Why do people do this? Why do you single someone out? why don't you just accept them for what they are and who they are? That's the important thing to me in life. Now I want to tell you a little story now about another president, President John F. Kennedy. He called me the year that he was assassinated and said to me, Mrs. Savage, I want you to go on a secret mission for me. And I said, secret? He said, yes, secret. You must come to Washington because I cannot discuss it on the phone. And he says, I've also asked Mrs. Helen Minor, Governor Minor's wife, to go with you. And she has agreed. I kept saying, Mississippi. Oh, no, not Mississippi. But we went to Washington. And what he said to us was, they're going to integrate the first grade students in Jackson. But I'm hoping that the two of you can somehow convince the women in Jackson to talk to their husbands, their brothers, their uncles, their cousins, or whatever, so those children won't be traumatized. And I said to Helen after we left, I said, that's a tall order. I don't know what we're going to do. I said, but we'll have to try. So when we went, one of the society women, they'd never had a black woman in Mississippi before in the history, so they tell me, that sat in the living room having tea, everybody with gloves on. I had gloves, I did not wear them. And we shook hands and so forth. So they asked Mrs. Minor, are you the spokesman? She says, no, I'm not the spokesman. Mrs. Savage is the spokesman. So I said to them, because of the president, though he's not with us, because the president was assassinated before we got there, I said, because of the president, President Kennedy, I'm here. I said, but I must tell you this. After he was assassinated, President Johnson became the president. He called us in to Washington and said, I want you to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to do a mission for me. I want to follow out the president's orders. I want to do what he had asked you to do. So we agreed to go. And I can tell you, that was really an experience. They sent marshals in with us for safety purposes. But the minute we got off the plane, the hissing and the spitting on the floor and so forth and so on, it was a horrible time. If you saw the movie The Help, well, I lived it. That is the best movie I've ever seen that was really true about what was happening in Mississippi. But the mission, we accomplished the mission, because what I said to them, that you have the power to do anything you want to do, if you would just do it. So if you would do the president a favor, and do me a favor, Mrs. Minor, you will talk to your husbands, your brothers, your cousins, or whatever, and let them know they would not want their children traumatized entering the first grade. And they looked at me just to say, is she crazy? And I remember the help would come out and peep every so often to see whether or not I was really black. And that somehow amused me too. Well, I'm black. I'm a black American. I do not call myself an Afro. I call myself a black American. And I just feel that we're at this stage now. And unless we begin to parent, I'm talking to parents now, you are the key to the future of America. Parenting is something, you talk about old-fashioned, it may be old-fashioned, but it needs to be now taught to your children how they must act. Pay attention. Your teacher is just like your parent once you get to school. And teachers, I know you know some of what I'm talking about. Parents can be a headache, a real headache, because they don't understand what you have to go through when you're working from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, with their children. So I'm saying parents need to learn to say to their children, you go to school to learn, you go to school to behave, and you go to school to respect the teacher. Amen. So I'm not going to keep you this evening very long. There's only one other story I want to tell about a president, and President Carter, who was really my favorite president. He was in Atlanta. He was the governor of Atlanta, of Georgia at the time. And we were sitting together at a performance. And I said to him, I said, Governor Carter, you tell me that you're a great governor. They tell me that you're a governor of all the people. And I'm so impressed. Have you ever thought about running for president? He said, president? I said, yes, president. I said, we need a president that's there for all the people. So about 8 months, Daddy King called me. He said, you know what, Dora? You put it into his head, he's going to run for president. So I said, I'm so happy because I think he'll be a great president. And today, President Carter may not be labeled a great president, but he's one of the most humble and caring presidents we've ever had in the White House. So I'm going to end up by saying to all of you, I'm humble to be here, and I wish I did have more time to share some stories with you, but the hour is getting late. And again, I want to thank the staff of the Lawrence High School, particularly my grandson, who talked to me and asked me to come, who is vice principal, C.J. Williams, and to all of the staff. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Jermaine Douglas Moore. I'm a teenager who finds one's joy in life, interested in what this world has to offer, curious about what my future has to hold in store. And like many other teenagers, I have goals and dreams I hope will one day make reality. But I find those dreams harder to reach as other teenagers are considered higher priority. And my future has already been determined based on my skin color. And that future holds nothing much in store. Nothing to benefit me or the ones that will come after me. If that future doesn't end shortly, who knows? I could be the next hashtag, justice for another young, innocent, unarmed black male. With the reply, it wasn't a racial issue. Why? Because my hands weren't raised high enough. Why? Because I wasn't cooperating enough. Why? Because my life just doesn't matter. But what needs to be understood is that my goals do matter. My dreams do matter. My future does matter. My life matters.
Hi, everyone. My name is Selena Denko, and I am a senior here at Lawrence High School. I am a child of 2 immigrant parents. My parents left everything they knew behind in the hopes of providing a better life for me and my sister. I am receiving an American education, and I will be attending college, unlike my parents, and my life matters. Cześć! Mam na imię Selena Denko i jest mój ostatni rok tu w Lawrence High School. Moi rodzice przyjechali z Polski, aby wypełnić lepsze życie dla mnie i dla mojej siostry. Ja mam edukację amerykańską i idę do koledżu. I moje życie jest ważne.
My name is Steven Sikora. I'm a freshman student athlete at Lawrence High School.
I plan on studying economics so I can start a business one day. My life matters.
My name is Jack O'Brien. I'm a sophomore student athlete at Lawrence High School, and that's why my life matters.
My name is Logan Miller. I am a freshman here at Lawrence High School. I am Irish and Scottish, and I love playing soccer, and I appreciate the support my family has given me all throughout my life. My life matters.
My name is Daniel Terlecki. I'm a senior at Lawrence High School. I plan on changing the world. My life matters.
My name is Katie Carpinelli. I'm an Italian-American junior at Lawrence High School. I enjoy debate and Model UN, and I aspire to work in foreign affairs, and my life matters.
Hello, my name is Rohan Pawa. I'm a sophomore here at Lawrence High School. Previously, I've led a group of students in the STEM club to teach kids aging from 5 to 12 about science in our community, and my life matters.
My name is Sammy Pazluzny. I'm a 9th grader here at Lawrence High School. I come from a nurturing mother, an inspiring father, and a supportive sister. My last name comes from the Polish language meaning obedience. The first time that I learned that my life mattered was when I was told how loud I was. I was told that I could be anyone in a screaming competition. I was the loudest person they ever met. No one compared to me. When I was in elementary school learning how to add and subtract, I never knew how much that simple math skill would impact me in my future life. And to put in positives where those negatives were, to add the positives, such as medications to make them healthier. And from all of this, I remind myself that my life matters.
We are some faces of LHS, and
our lives matter.
We will now have a We Shall Overcome rendition by Davon Parker and Nicole Bona Zapazaja.
someday we'll overcome. Someday we'll walk hand in hand. Someday we'll walk hand in hand. Someday, deep within my heart, I believe we shall overcome. Someday we'll overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Someday we shall overcome. Someday we shall overcome. Someday overcome. Someday.
Long night. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for enduring. We've had some technical difficulties, but we've worked through those. So thank you for your patience. Just want to acknowledge some people. There's a long list of acknowledgments on the back, but I have some special acknowledgments that I just want to share. New Jersey Education Association Pride and Lawrence Township Education Association Pride. Without these associations, this would not have been possible. They provided the funding and the grant to allow this event to happen. So we are very, very grateful to both of those organizations. So Lawrence Township Public Schools District Administration, thank you so much for allowing us to have this event. Thank you to the Lawrence High School Administration, and especially to our assistant principals. They sat in several Black History Month Planning Committee meetings with us. They took time out of their busy schedules to help us and to help us put this together. And to the Lawrence High School Arts and Humanities Academy, especially to the supervisor, Mr. Dan Wolf. And to the officers of the Arts and Humanities Academy. We have Sarah Carson, President, Sarah Dara, Caroline, Bora, Tom Park, and Katie Carpinelli. Great job.
So yeah, we're some of the officers from the Arts and Humanities Academy, and we just wanted to thank you guys all out Thank you guys for coming out, and most importantly, we would like to thank Miss Holloway, because without her, none of this would have been possible. She had a dream, and she achieved it. It was spectacular. So, we would like to present you with these flowers.
We would like to now close with our principal, Dr. Dauber.
Thank you, Ms. Holloway. I just want to give another big round of applause to Ms. Holloway for all of her hard work. This has really been your vision, I think, over the last 2 years, and it just continues to get better and better with all the things that you've done, not only with the Black History Celebration, but also with Gospel Choir. That's come back from decades ago. You're doing a fantastic job, and I can't thank you enough for all of that. So keep up the good work. I think this has been a very moving and inspiring night for me to see our kids, just like everybody else has been saying, yeah, you can't see anything when you're up here with these lights. So I don't know what the kids are doing out there right now, but you've inspired me. I mean, I love watching you grow, watching you come together tonight as a group, the performers, everyone. This has really been something very, very special to me as a principal at Lawrence High School. There are a number of moments that are so meaningful over the course of a person's career that it really moves you and sticks with you, and this has really been one of those nights. I'm truly blessed to be part of this, and I'm really fortunate to be part of such a wonderful school with such wonderful kids who attend this school. I've known most of you since you were at the intermediate grades when you were younger, and to watch you grow into young men and young women has just been absolutely a joy for me. The word that we talked about, I was in here last night talking with a group of parents of incoming ninth graders, and we used the word diversity a lot in Lawrence, and it really was on full display tonight. I think whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, people coming together to do different things, to reflect on the past, to figure out ways that we can move forward together. It's extremely inspiring. When I walked out and I looked at some of the other things that were out in the hallways, some of the historical projects, I reflected on a number of these things, many of which happened before I was born, but I've read about in textbooks and magazines, civil rights movement, all of that, and it really forced me to reflect on where we were, where we are, and really where we want to go. The triumphs, the tragedies, everything in between. And it's up to us, and I'm really talking to the kids now. It's up to us to make the new textbooks that people are going to write for schools to say what's going to be in those things, in those books. And it's not just about for us as the people who are here tonight living right now, but primarily for all of you as students when you grow up. We have to find ways to come together as a whole, as one group of people, one race, the human race, not for you, but for your children and for your children's children after you. We set that tone, and we will write those history books, and I'm counting on you. It's not up to somebody else. It's up to you, and you are the ones who are going to do it. You're going to change the world, and I need you to do that, and I am empowering you if you weren't aware of that already. You guys are wonderful. You have the future in your hands, and you owe it not only to yourselves and your parents, but your kids and your grandkids to do the right thing with it, guys. So please do that. I love all of you guys, and tonight has been so wonderful. Mrs. Savage Jennings, I can't thank you enough. You're so inspiring to me. Thank you. But let's get everybody out of here, go home. It's a very cold night, but this was really hot in here tonight in the auditorium. So what a wonderful evening. So thanks again to everyone. Have a blessed day. Enjoy the weekend. Good night, everybody.